Okay, so let's make our full breakdown on BTC USD. Now, if you remember from the monthly time frame, we have a market that had created this very strong bullish trend line, and the market was retesting it with this clear M formation, therefore confirming that definitely we wanted to see a rejection from the area and a move to the upside. After that, what the market did, the market created an equal high. So basically, this is the situation. We have a market that made a move to the downside, retracement, lower low, equal high. So down, up, lower low, equal high. Now, if you have a situation like this in the market, what do you expect? You expect the market to make a retracement, create this inverted head and shoulders, and then create the continuation to the upside, meaning that from a monthly perspective on BTC USD, we can expect from here a wave to the downside before the continuation to the upside. So something very important to keep in mind from a monthly perspective. Let's go down on the weekly and see what kind of confluences we can get from the weekly time frame. Now on the weekly, we can clearly see that yes, the market is rejecting the previous high and we can expect a move to the downside. However, what we can clearly see from the weekly perspective as well is that in all this move to the upside, there is one candle which is not related to the move to the upside, which is this red candle here, meaning that the market had reacted to this zone, which is now a very strong demand area for BTC USD. And until this area will be holding from a weekly perspective, it will be acting as strong support. So if we want to see the move to the downside, the wave to the downside from a monthly perspective, we first need to see a clear weekly break below this area. Everything is quite clear. Let's go down on the daily and see what kind of situation we have from a daily perspective. Now on the daily time frame, what we can see. Now on the daily time frame, we can see that if you remember, we had already spoken about this counter trend line. The market broke it to the downside as we wanted to see, retested it here also with a minor manipulation to the upside, and now it has already rejected it to the downside, retesting also the previous daily structure. Now, if we have to adapt now to the new market structure, what do we have to identify? Now, if you have already found a nice shorting opportunity from the retest on lower time frames, then perfect. You're running in a nice trade to the downside, and I suggest that you continue to run the trade risk-free. On the other side, if you want to compound the trade or look for the next opportunity, how are we supposed to be approaching this market? Well, first of all, we must notice that this level here that the market at which the market is trading right now is very strong support. In fact, it was acting as support here, against support here, against support here, and against support here. And currently, yes, is already acting as support also at this level. And this aligns pretty well with the support that we already have at this area from a weekly perspective, if you remember. We had already spoken about it. So how we have to be approaching this if we want to see all time frames show the same direction. So the monthly, weekly, and daily all show for a push to the downside. We have to wait for this area to break to the downside. If the market will show a clear bearish impulse to the downside on the daily time frame, all structure will be broken to the downside. All this support will be turned resistance here. The weekly support will as well be turned resistance here. And on the monthly time frame, we already know that the market wants to make a wave to the downside from a pattern perspective. So after the impulse and the correction, that is where we would have the best probabilities and best risk to reward. And that is where we will be monitoring price action with students on the 4-hour time frame, waiting for the market to provide to us one of our valid entries. And as soon as the market will provide to us one of our valid entries, we will be taking a nice short with a very good risk to reward and very good probabilities for the move to the downside, continuation to the downside, completion of this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the downside. And the overall downside target will be this level here. Why? Because in all this impulse to the upside, there is one candle which is not related to the move, which is this red candle, which will be our target to the downside since it is a very strong demand area. So this is overall how we will be approaching BTC USD. If this level will continue to hold, then obviously we are not looking for any shorts. If from here the market will just move to the upside, obviously we are not looking for any shorts. Only if the market will actually create this impulse and make a correction back to this area, then we will be looking for a possible opportunity on BTC USD. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis and education, make sure you drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free education and analysis for all of you, and I will see you in the next video.